are single-handedly doing more to fight fascism than any American has. Yeah, Algie! Woo! Algie!
This July 4th weekend, it's the nation's biggest telethon to stop Trump. And this time, unlike all of the other times, this time we will. It's ALGAECIDE 26. The biggest names in entertainment come together to stop President Trump from committing the ultimate eco-crime. ALGAECIDE. You'll see Leonardo DiCaprio flying in from his yacht to tell us this is the biggest environmental crisis of our time. Ed Sheeran with a glowing green guitar. Bono in wraparound shades lecturing us that we must lift up the microscopic voiceless. Plus a surprise guest, John Kerry, paddling in on a solar-powered kayak. And don't miss Taylor Swift dropping a 17-minute acoustic ballad called Pond Scum about all her ex-boyfriends. ALGAECIDE 26. 100% of proceeds go straight to the Algae Defense Fund. After 85% administrative fees, luxury catering, and carbon offsets. This July 4th weekend, save the sludge. Donate now at algaethon26.org. ALGAETHON 26. Because the real slime lives in the Oval Office.
Yes, I cannot wait for ALGAETHON 26. This Sunday, be there. Yes, Reflecting Poolgate is alive and well, and the algae, on last report, is still very much with us. The algae is alive. Save the algae. In fact, to top of the show here, breaking news. We've got breaking news into the newsroom. The Babylon Bee has a story. I'm Ron Burgundy. Reflecting Pool algae surges ahead of Kamala in the 2028 Democrat presidential polls. According to the Babylon Bee, Washington, D.C., the algae from the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool surged ahead of former Vice President Kamala Harris in polls for the Democrat Party's 2028 presidential nomination. This is exciting. The news came over the weekend after many Democrats expressed approval of the green sludge covering much of the newly renovated Reflecting Pond in front of the National Monument. Many said they thought the ooze adequately reflected their values and political objectives over other potential candidates like Harris. I like that stuff, Democratic voter Kelsey Waters said. I'd vote for it in a heartbeat. It knows how to stand up to Republicans, and it seems really to be able to get the job done. Kamala was good, but I think the algae would do a better job leading the country. The green goop surged ahead of all other candidates after Democrats saw how well it was able to undermine Trump's efforts to clean up the Reflecting Pool. Quote, I'll vote for anyone or anything that opposes Donald Trump, be it Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, or non-sentient green pond scum, Democrat Thomas Miller said. To be honest, the pond scum has the best platform proposal right now of any of the other candidates. At publishing time, the Reflecting Pool algae had also outperformed all members of Congress in the most recent approval polls. Well, welcome to Mark Mosley Show. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube at Mark Mosley Show. Please subscribe to the show. We're trying to build up enough subscribers to where we can eventually monetize. And that's what it's all about, monetization. California Representative Robert Garcia, the top Democrat in the House Oversight Committee, has now sent letters to the two contractors behind the $16 million renovation of the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool, demanding answers over the pool's disastrous outcome. Oh, you mean the water's still just as green as it's been for over a decade? Yeah, what a catastrophe. You know what? And I thought the status quo was the ultimate goal in D.C. Just keep everything as it is right now. Well, Green Water Solutions and Atlantic Industrial Coatings received no bid contracts for water purification and the repainting and waterproofing work, despite ties to Trump entities or donors. Yikes. The pool soon suffered algae blooms and peeling American flag blue paint, leading to plans to drain it again ahead of the nation's 250th birthday celebration. Representative Garcia is requesting contracts, performance records, communications with the National Park Service, and details on corrective actions by July 8th, calling it Trump's very latest failed vanity project and a waste of taxpayer money. Yes, the administration now has blamed vandals and has arrested several people, I'm sure in some kind of performance art, if you ask the left, while defending the effort to fix long-standing algae and leakage problems. Long-standing algae problems. See, what Trump should have done was he should have, instead of hiring the companies directly, he should have given the money, instead of giving them the money directly, make the project a charity project, give a bunch of money to Melania Trump's charity. If she doesn't have one, create one, and then tell her which companies to hire. And then the charity hires the companies, and it's all nudge, nudge, wink, wink. It's all legit. That's how a certain governor, who's much smarter than Trump, would have done it. Whataboutism, Mark. That's whataboutism. I can hear it now. Whataboutism? You're trying to deflect from Trump and talk about Newsom. I didn't mention Newsom, though, did I? Yeah, you did. No, I did not. I never said his name. What? Well, you're a racist. Okay, there it is. It's whataboutism. You know, look into that Newsom thing. Well, they are. They're looking into it. They'll get him. They'll get him. He thinks he's going to run for president in 2028. But you know what? As the left would say, stop focusing on the pond scum. Let's focus on the real. Let's focus on the real issues that Americans care about. Why doesn't Congress spend their time passing legislation that addresses the needs of the American people in general and not waste everyone's precious time and money on the color of some pool that's just as green as it's been for more than a decade? That's how they do it. The left is going to focus on whatever they're going to focus on while saying that there's no reason to drag Fauci in front of Congress anymore. Leave the poor man alone. Why, that's all well behind us. And besides, it's all been debunked. Which is what the left says when they don't want to talk about something. You know, oh, it's been debunked. That's been debunked. That's been debunked, Mark. Whether it's been debunked or not is ripe for debate. But yeah. So Trump didn't fix something that Obama also didn't fix by spending half of what Obama spent to fix the thing that still is not fixed and wasn't fixed after he fixed it. But now Trump's fixed it and it's still green. Okay. So everything's basically the same as it's ever been. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. I asked Grok, has algae been a problem for a really, really, really long time at that reflecting pool in front of the Lincoln Memorial? And here's what Grok had to say. Yeah, that's right. As you know, Grok on this show sounds like Kronk or Joe the Cop or Putty or pick your character, pick your Patrick Warburton character. Yeah, that's right. Algae's been a long-standing, reoccurring problem with the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool for over a century, documented since at least 1922, well before the Obama-era renovation. The major 2010 to 2012 reconstruction under Obama, costing $35 million, addressed leaks, sinking, and stagnant water by rebuilding parts of the pool and adding paths. But algae bloomed again within a month of reopening, and the pool continued leaking about 16 million gallons of water per year. After they fixed it, it was still leaking. Yeah, so tell us again how Trump screwed it up. Scientists and officials note that the shallow, sun-exposed design in a warm urban environment naturally produces algae growth when circulation, filtration, or treatment falters, issues that have plagued it across multiple administrations, not created by any single project. But no, Obama did not face the same level of intense media and leftist, but I repeat myself, scrutiny, the sustained partisan backlash or national media frenzy that we're seeing now after the 2012 renovation, again costing double what Trump spent, algae did return quickly. Very quickly. It came back so quickly, so very, very quickly, within weeks, along with complaints about the smell and appearance from some tourists. There was local coverage. CNN did do a story on it, noting the disappointment and the dead ducks. That's right. Dead ducks is not a new thing. It is not a Trump thing. There were dead ducks after the Obama. Now we fixed it, but we still had some dead ducks. But it didn't dominate news cycles across more than a week when Obama had his kerfluffle with the reflecting pool. More on ALGAECIDE coming up later when we debunk the Trump later in the show. But the left is making the biggest deal about this. They're pulling out all the stops to try to embarrass Trump. And it seems like they're trying to have it both ways, because in one breath, they're mocking Trump because there's still algae. And in another breath, there are all these pro-algae protesters and supporters out there with their signs, Save the Algae, and their Save the Algae t-shirts. And I'm really, quite frankly, surprised, since algae is involved, that the left hasn't pulled in SpongeBob to speak out on this. Patrick, why is President Trump trying to kill my friends, the algae? Well, he's just a big meanie. Yeah, Patrick, those algae they're my friends. Isn't plankton algae? That's right, Patrick. Plankton is algae. Donald Trump is trying to kill my friend Plankton. Well, hold on there, Patrick and SpongeBob. Only on this show will you hear President Trump having a conversation with cartoon characters. Hold on there, Patrick and SpongeBob. Mr. President, it's really him, Patrick. Oh my God. Maybe we don't kill the algae. Maybe we could just relocate the algae. We could relocate it. Really? Really, Mr. President? Sure, why not? When it comes to the reflecting pool, so very reflecting, so very, very reflecting. I've been doing some reflecting of my own. How about we scoop all of the algae out and we will relocate them to the New York City subway tunnels. They'll be down there with the rats and the smell and the bums, and it's basically algae heaven down there. Tremendous water features, very wet, very moist. Very, very moist. And the the commuters will absolutely love it. Hooray! The president saved the day!
Can't wear Bible verses on your headgear because the left will attack, vilify, and destroy you? Well, now there's exciting news. It's Koran Kaps to the rescue. With Koran Kaps, you can message anything you like and no one will say a word. Like our best-selling Surah Al-Araf 7:80-81 cap. Wear it with pride, anytime, anywhere. Not only will the left not attack you, they may come up and hug you because they'll assume it has something to do with the Jews. We've also got Surah Al-Ankabut 29:28-29, and many, many more. Now you can be bold about your beliefs with no fear of reprisal. Koran Kaps. Finally, religious wear that won't get you canceled. Koran Kaps. The left silence guaranteed or your money back.
I want to give you a heads up about next week's show. We're going to do something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I think America's 250th birthday is the perfect time to do it. And this will be an evergreen show that, you can watch anytime. You can show it to your kids because we need to educate the future. I'm going to break down the 40 stated goals in the book, The Naked Communist, and where we stand on 4th of July weekend, 2026, America's 250th birthday, in the communists achieving those goals inside the United States, inside of our culture. And, another thing that makes the timing perfect is watching what happened in New York City this week. So next week's show, it won't be particularly funny. We probably won't get any more conversations between Trump and SpongeBob on that show, but it'll be a vital conversation to have, and it's something I've been wanting to talk about for a while. That's on next week's show. I want to touch on something that happened last week and here in the tail end of the of Pride Month 2026, and that is the whole business of these Giants players who got in trouble for having baseball caps with Bible verses on them. And here's the thing that I couldn't quite understand what the big deal was. They didn't have the words of the verses printed on their baseball caps. They just had the verse name and number. So what I couldn't understand is, how is having the words Genesis 9:12 through 16, how is that in and of itself offensive? You see what I'm saying? It's just the verse numbers. And so, but the left had a cow. What does Genesis 9:12 through 16 say? Because if you look at the reaction of the left, they must have assumed, oh, that must be the part in Genesis where God destroys Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Boo! Boo! And of course, no one in the media would bother to go look it up first, because that would involve potentially touching a Bible, and they'd be afraid that they'd burst into flames, which there's a pretty good chance that would happen. But what does Genesis 9:12 through 16 actually say? Again, no one involved in this narrative will tell you that, because it works against the narrative itself. Here's what Genesis 9:12 through 16 says, for those of you who are too afraid to touch a Bible that you may, in fact, burst into flames. It won't happen, by the way. Here's what it says. And God said, this is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you. He's talking to Noah as Noah's coming off the ark. A covenant for all generations to come. I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all the living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures of every kind on the earth. No judgment there. No mention of any particular sins. It was just about the original meaning of the rainbow. And the players, the Giants players that wore these caps, described it as a statement of their Christian faith and God's promise and his mercy, with no intent of hate. MLB issued a warning for violating uniform rules, but later said that no discipline would be imposed. Well, I would hope not. Because, and look, I know this gets into the idea of whether or not your free speech rights extend to to a private entity, and we've had that conversation on this show before. In fact, they do not. The First Amendment protects you from government overreach, but it doesn't protect you, and it doesn't afford you universal speech rights when you've entered into a contract with a private entity. So you can threaten to sue all you want, but you signed a deal saying, you would and would not do certain things. Well, it's time to debunk the Trump. Things are so crazy out there with all kinds of Trump rumors that we have to spend valuable time on this show, where I could be doing more stupid voices instead. We have to spend, no, I can't do more dumb voices. We have to debunk stories about Trump. So let's get started here. Here we go. Snopes ask, did Trump's motorcade drive through the newly painted reflecting pool? Wait a second. The answer is yes, he did. On May 7th, President Donald Trump's motorcade drove through the link, not around, not on the concrete on the edge, right up the middle of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, which had been drained, painted, and sealed. The pool was repainted, of course, in American flag blue. A White House official shared official video of the motorcade crossing the empty basin, with the president touring the site to inspect the work. Snopes confirmed the event as true. The claim circulated widely on social media. And of course, many people on the right assumed that it was a gag, that it didn't happen, but in fact it did. There was no water, of course, in the reflecting pool at the time. The incident sparked debate over the appropriateness of driving vehicles through the landmark. Supporters view it as a practical inspection of the renovation progress, while opponents saw it as disrespectful to a historic site. All right, next. Is the Trump organization selling paint chips from the peeled paint from the reflecting pool? There's even a fake ad for this. No, debunked. They did not run out there and pick up the pieces that were damaged by vandals, and they are not selling them online. Snopes had to jump in and fact check this one, basically admitting there's zero trace of this product anywhere in the Trump stores. It was never real, but this is what happens when you very desperately need to believe these things are true. Because a lot of people, they hated the paint. They hated that Trump repainted it in American flag blue, and so now they're inventing a grift out of thin air. Meanwhile, these are the same people that defended every Biden family, Hunter Biden art hustle, and the endless grift under the previous administration without batting an eye. The bottom line, though, is Trump did not sell paint chips, but that is hilarious. And I mean, look, I'm glad some people on the left have their delicious sense of humor. I appreciate it. And yes, we have to be able to laugh, even if it's at our own expense, and even if it is at the expense of our president, who does plenty of things that we can laugh at. I mean, come on, let's be real. But speaking of monstrosities built by politicians, let's pivot now to the story about Obama and his Death Star. Presidential Library. Claims that the Obama Foundation failed to pay black and minority contractors for work on the library, the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago, have been circulating, also online. The center opened in June 2026 amid rumors and media reports of subcontractors facing financial ruin, some alleging that millions are owed due to delay and cost overruns. Court filings highlight cases like a black-owned concrete firm suing a structural engineering company for alleged racial discrimination and bankruptcies by other black-owned or black-led firms. The Obama Foundation hired Lakeside Alliance, a group including major black-owned firms, as construction manager to handle subcontractors, and it states it accelerated payments and advanced funds beyond industry norms. Lakeside noted that closeouts for such large projects often continue long after opening. In other words, they're saying, oh, you'll get your money eventually. Yeah. Well, maybe they will, and maybe they won't. I read the story about how Obama might be in the process of stiffing the contractors on the back end. And I posted on Facebook, now we have two presidents who have stiffed the subcontractors, which is, of course, a reference to the left's decade-old claim that Trump has stiffed contractors on projects, which I hope all my Republican friends are sitting down for this one, because it's probably true that he did. However, this is not a bumper sticker argument. This is an argument in which context and nuance matters. And this is the part that the left never talks about. Are you ready? In the New York, Jersey City area, everyone does it. It's not a Trump thing. It is a common practice. I learned this, actually, anecdotally, several years ago from a family member who happens to run a construction general contracting firm in the New York, Jersey City area. And he told me many stories, including one about how he had to sue a convent. He did a construction project for some nuns, and the nuns stiffed him on the back end. The nuns stiffed him on the back end. So, but Lest I be accused of simply giving one anecdote, I asked ChatGPT to confirm that this is a common practice, and this is what it said. In the New York City construction industry, withholding or delaying final payments to subcontractors is a longstanding and widely reported issue. General contractors and developers may hold back, may hold back retainage or dispute change orders, punch list items, or alleged defects long after substantial completion. This practice helps owners manage risk and cash flow, but frequently leaves smaller subcontractors facing cash shortages, forcing them to borrow and lay off workers and sometimes file for bankruptcy. Now, New York recently has tried to enact laws to address this problem, including prompt payment requirements. You have to pay within 30 days of approved invoices, and contractors have to pay subs within 7 days of receipt. And all kinds of other protections. But despite these protections, disputes remain common. Subcontractors can, of course, pursue mechanics liens. They can file a lawsuit for breach of interest. But the litigation, of course, as you know, is costly and very time-consuming. So, yes, Trump, in the past, has stiffed the contractors, which everybody in New York does, and now it looks like Obama's going to do it too over there in Chicago, that toddling town. Well, speaking of the Obama Library grand opening, and what a grand opening it was.
Look at my granddaughter.
I think Victor Davis Hanson said it the best. By the way, if you've never watched any of Victor Davis Hanson's, I hate to promote another show and say, hey, go watch this instead of watching this show. But I mean, everybody knows who. If you don't know who Victor Davis Hanson is, you don't know much. But the man's a legend. He's awesome. At the dedication, this is what Victor Davis Hanson posted on X. At the dedication of his narcissistic Obama Presidential Center in Chicago, a $850 million flak tower monolithic boondoggle mired in debt, Obama lectured us on the need to resist the allure of money, attention, and fame. Thus spoke the owner of 4 homes, 3 of them multi-million-dollar mansions, whose last inert year in office was spent closing book and Netflix deals that ensured he would become a multi-millionaire the moment he left office, and on spec, jets private to sermonize to various audiences, often at $400,000 a shot, on their own false consciousness shortcomings. So yes, I think that pretty much sums up the irony of the whole thing. And what the heck was that thing Hillary Clinton was wearing? Look at that thing. Is she what? I mean, talk about a character out of Star Wars. What the heck? Is that Elon Musk's new cyber hat? Is that the new cyber hat? Is that what that is? And they did a land acknowledgement ceremony, which, I mean, come on. There's nothing cringier than making Native Americans dance for you on land that used to be theirs. That has got to be the ultimate in virtue signaling. Hey, thanks for the thanks for the land. No, we're not giving it back, but would you dance for us? Would you please? Come on now. Dance, I said. Dance for me. You know? And that thing looks like either the Dark Tower or the Ministry of Truth from 1984. Or even Mordor. I have seen it compared to Mordor. Let's look at some presidential libraries, just for contrast here. Here's Reagan's, which I have been to many times. Love that place. Here's George W. Bush's presidential library. This is a picture of Carter's. And there's Bill Clinton's. Oh, why is that shaped like that? Why does it look like a...
Willie. Yeah. What's that? Well, it looks like a giant.
Yeah, now you can't unsee that, can you? And then now one more time, this is Obama's library. So, no, wait a minute, that's Dr. Evil's lair. This is Obama's library. There you go. Also, this again from the Babylon Bee. More breaking news on the show. Breaking news again. Obama Library cruelly disenfranchises millions of black Americans by requiring photo ID for entry. Dateline, Chicago, Illinois. In a cruel denial of basic human rights, the Obama Presidential Library has disenfranchised millions of black Americans by requiring photo identification for entry. The rule will prevent library access to virtually all black citizens who cannot obtain photo ID in the United States. Critics say this will essentially make Obama's library a whites-only building, echoing the horrific discrimination of the Jim Crow era. It's absolutely disgusting that Obama would build a library and then not let black people inside, said NAACP President Derek Johnson. The photo ID requirement at the Obama Library is worse than chattel slavery and Jim Crow combined. It's bad enough that we can't vote, but now we cannot even go inside the library of our first black president. How cruel can you get? Civil rights activists in Chicago have warned that the photo ID requirement at the library could directly kill thousands of black people. Forced to stand outside in the scorching heat due to not being allowed in the library, the death toll could reach 10,000 per day, cautioned community organizer Latasha Vernon. We are literally being murdered in the streets by this rule and demand that the Obama Library change its policy immediately. At publishing time, Obama had responded to the criticism by announcing that his library would still require photo identification, but only for white people. Well, welcome back to Mark Mosley Show, and turning to the lighter side of things. Yes, a little bit of levity. A Russian man has left his window open for 3 years, and when he got back, he found his apartment had been invaded. A Russian man in Vorkuta.
Vorkuta, yes, I am from Vorkuta.
That's not a Russian accent. Why did I do that? A Russian man in Vorkuta left his apartment window open before heading off for a 3-year work assignment, apparently confident that nothing could possibly go wrong in his absence. Upon his return, he discovered that nature had happened. More specifically, an entire community of pigeons had taken full advantage of the open window. The birds had turned his home into a full-blown avian timeshare, complete with nests on the furniture, feathers blanketing every surface, and a thick, fragrant layer of droppings coating the floors like some unfortunate modern art installation. The world's most expensive bird sanctuary. While he faced the monumental task of evicting the feathered squatters and deep cleaning the mess, the internet can't help but laugh at the ultimate leave a window open cautionary tale. Well, maybe he should reach out to this guy, because AI to the rescue now. The protagonist of this story also found himself exasperated by pigeons covering his balcony with droppings, but he decided to take a tech-oriented approach that proved surprisingly effective. He built an autonomous water gun turret that recognizes pigeons when they approach his balcony and automatically shoot jets of water at them, completely harmless to the birds. Using an electric battery-powered water gun, a mini computer, a USB camera, 2 servo motors, resistors, and a transistor for turning on the water gun, plus an AI model, the hero of our story built an AI-powered water gun turret designed to spot and shoot the pigeons with a harmless spurt of water that scares them away. The way it works is a USB camera spots the pigeon. The neural network engages the servo motors to turn the water gun toward the pigeon and fire it straight at the intruder, driving them away. People love it so much, the inventor is being encouraged to mass produce it. I mean, you could call it the Birdinator, just listen to me, Mr. Birdie. My mission is to eliminate you and your roof pooping. Get out of here. Do it now. Go. Hasta la vista, Birdie. Well, more sciencey stuff, one simple movement that you do every day and for other reasons could be cleaning your brain. Now, I know you want to hear about this. A new Penn State study published in Nature Neuroscience reveals that simple everyday movements may help clean the brain by promoting the flow of cerebral spinal fluid, which removes waste products linked to neurodegenerative diseases. And researchers found that in particular, when abdominal muscles contract, such as when bracing to stand, walk, or even during light physical activity, they act like a hydraulic pump in your body. It squeezes blood through a network of veins connected by the abdomen to the spinal cord, creating subtle pressure that gently shifts the brain inside the skull. Using advanced imaging on mice and computer simulations, modeling the brain as a dirty sponge, the team showed this small motion drives fluid circulation around and through the brain, helping to flush out toxins. The findings offer a mechanical explanation for why physical activity makes you feel better, because it benefits brain health, suggesting that even mild core engagement during normal movement contributes to this cleaning process. So I don't need to do 1,000 crunches, just maybe, I don't know, 3. 3 and you're done. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's what a workout. Yeah. Yeah, that's an over 50 workout for you. Not to mention the ladies love those abs, don't they? Huh? I was right all along. Bed Tai Chi is all you need.
Hi, I'm Mark Mosley, and this image of me is not an AI-generated image of me with my shirt off. This is really my physique. Yes, I might be over 60, but I have the body of a 19-year-old Olympic swimmer. I've got negative 3% body fat, which is actually impossible. What do you mean, is this my real voice? Don't the lip movements match?
All right, drop the AI voice, guys.
Now, I suppose you think I got this body by doing chair Tai Chi for just 5 minutes a day. Well, you'd be wrong, because I'm here to tell you that you don't need chair Tai Chi when I've invented bed Tai Chi. Yes, now get the body of a Mr. Universe while lying in bed watching any Alan Ritchson movie. Just move your arms up and down a couple of times and kick your legs a little, and by the end of the week, you'll be unrecognizable. It's just that easy. And for only $99 a month. Order now and I'll include a free pack of Tai Chi chai tea. That's right, just one sip and watch the pounds fall right off. It's the only Tai Chi chai tea by me, Mark Mosley, for free. So send me $99 now and I'll send you the Bed Tai Chi workout plan, plus the Tai Chi chai tea by me for free. Now you can get in the shape of your life for only 18 seconds a day. With Tai Chi. We'll have AI fix that.
Welcome back to Mark Mosley Show on YouTube at Mark Mosley Show, on social media like X at Mark Mosley Show. Brand new account there, so please go follow me. We're going to try to build that X account up into something, but right now, I think I have 3 followers, and they're all really, really attractive Asian women in their 20s. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Bots. Dead internet theory. I got into a conversation with a friend of mine this week about dead internet theory, and man, how crazy that whole thing is, that the majority of the activity now on the internet is actually bots and not real humans. Anyway, we'll get into that a little deeper on another show. It's time for our doofus of the week. And this one involves the internet, and it involves everybody. In the bustling cities of South Korea, where the neon lights never dim and temptation is just a click away, there lives a very special kind of entrepreneur, the kind who saw a problem and decided to cash in on it. You see, shopping addiction in South Korean society is a real problem. It is not a joke. We probably all know someone in our circle of friends and acquaintances that struggles with this problem, and the internet really doesn't help. I've heard stories of people that go to the mall and they buy something and they get the quick high and they have no intention of keeping the item. They're going to return it the next day and get their money back, but they get that quick buzz. And so it is in South Korea, but really, really, really to an extreme. Many people are overwhelmed by the constant barrage of online deals and flash sales and endless scrolling. And I know, yes, it's the very special time of the year right now on Amazon. They're having all kinds of flash sales and special deals, and you got to get it now. And in South Korea, people have found themselves trapped in a cycle of impulse buys that maybe they can't afford. The bills pile up and regret sets in and something's got to give, but you're just addicted to the hunt and you're addicted to the excitement of buying something. Well, along comes some clever shopkeepers who created beautiful, professional-looking online stores with slick interfaces and flashy discounts and daily limited-time offers that make your heart race, and shoppers can browse for hours and fill their carts with everything from designer clothes to the latest gadgets and even go all the way through checkout. The only thing is, none of that merchandise ever gets delivered. Now, you're thinking that's a scam. They're getting ripped off. These people should be in prison. Except nobody's getting ripped off here. It's not a scam because they're not real stores. The merchandise is all fake, but that's the whole point. The entire experience, these websites are designed as a form of digital therapy for shopping addicts. And you know how it is. You have your cart on Amazon, and sometimes you just put stuff in the cart, and you're thinking, I'll buy that eventually. And maybe you never do, but it's in your cart. Well, every click, every purchase, every satisfying little confirmation screen is engineered to give you that dopamine hit without draining your bank account. But what kind of a world have we created now that some people only find joy in pure consumerism? So the doofus in our doofus of the week this week is all of us. We're all big, stupid doofuses. Well, let's wrap up the show now with some good news. Who knew that so much power lay behind the simple act of mowing the lawn? Well, that's what Spencer from SB Mowing has shown us all before. Everybody's seen his posts on social media, SB Mowing's videos, where he's cutting somebody's grass for free, and it's always really, really bad. Just like a day's work, like something I would go, nope, not me out in the sun doing that. But in a video posted recently on his new YouTube channel, Spencer introduced his followers to Debbie. Now, Debbie, just like everybody else that he cuts, had a terribly overgrown lawn, no money to hire anybody to take care of it. In fact, Debbie has no money at all. He said that Debbie has had one of the hardest stretches in life, and she's carrying it all by herself. It started when her husband was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and given 90 days to live. So Debbie was his caretaker until he passed away. During her grieving, a contractor she hired to do some tree work, took $2,000 in deposit and then never showed up. Watch out for that scam. And then a neighbor borrowed her car and wrecked it and didn't pay for it. Then she fell 3 months behind on her rent, and she put off some dental care and some health care that she really, really needs. And there were days when she and her dogs went without food because she simply couldn't afford it. Well, enter angel number 1, not a main character in our story, but one with a very important role to play. An unnamed Uber driver who took Debbie home from the grocery store, and may God bless you richly, unnamed Uber driver. He knows who you are. Well, the Uber driver reached out to Spencer and he explained this lady's situation. Exit unnamed Uber driver. Like I said, God's got a big tip waiting for you. Spencer and his father came out with their gear and they spent 2 entire days battling years of overgrowth and carting it off to the landfill. Afterwards, they took a bunch of stuff that she had prepared to sell in a yard sale. They took it to Habitat for Humanity and brought back some cash. And then Spencer's nonprofit, SB Mow It Forward, took care of her 3 months of back rent. Isn't that an amazing story? Well, it doesn't end there. Then he set up a GoFundMe. Yeah, you know where it's going. So far, they've raised $680,000 for Debbie. It's gone into a trust where she's the sole beneficiary. Now, that's the kind of story that redeems everything that we've said on this show up to this point. And it just reinforces saves my belief in humanity. There are still good people out there. By the way, if you want to make a donation to Debbie, search Debbie Mow It Forward on GoFundMe. That's easier than me trying to sit here and say the URL. But there it is on the screen. Matthew 25:40 says, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers or sisters of mine, you did it for me." That's the show. Until next time, may God bless you with health, joy, and wisdom.